Because that's a group of collective experience.
No kidding. You have collective experiences, and you put them in a manifesto.
So what we would do you want me to answer the question, or are you going to jump in and let me?
How long are you going to take to answer the question?
Well, I let you talk for a while to give the question, so let me answer. Are you afraid of me answering the question, Andrew?
I just want you to actually
I'm trying to, Andrew, if you're afraid of me answering the question, just say so.
Just use the manifesto.
If you're afraid of me answering the question, then that's fine.
Hold on 1 second.
This debate is an absolute demolition job by Andrew Wilson as he systematically destroys this so-called woke atheist with sheer logic and relentless pressure. The guy just cannot hold up under fire. We're talking about a debate where Andrew Wilson rips apart the weak, self-contradictory nonsense of secular humanism and exposes just how flimsy their moral foundation actually is. But enough talking, and let's immediately dive into this debate with Andrew Wilson.
A prescription's a straw man?
Your prescription is, because your prescription is based on interpretation that no secular humanism would come to the conclusion of. It is a logical impossibility that secular humanists would lock people up and do experiments on them. So to think that a humanist manifesto could include that as a prescription means that you have no clue what secular humanism is.
Okay.
And that's fine. If you don't know what secular humanism is.
I've just let you ramble for forever, right?
So you said...
Craig, calm down now.
Okay, carry on with your point. Sorry, I've had the red.
Here we go.
I apologize.
Knowledge of the world is derived by observation, experimentation, rational analysis. This is a descriptive claim, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do we make prescriptive claims off of descriptive claims?
If you want.
If you want. So if I were a humanist and I read that, whose interpretation would it be up to as to how it was applied or what the prescription was? Stop. Hang on.
Oh, you asked me a question.
Craig. Oh, was I done? Calm down.
You asked the question.
What I'm asking you specifically is, if it is the case that the person reading it is going to be the person who makes the prescription, okay? Then if I make a prescription here and it's not debunked by any of the rest of the Humanist Manifesto and you're going to some external source, in your case, well, you see, there's a logical impossibility because secular humanists wouldn't do that. Yes. It doesn't tell us shit, Craig. I'm giving you a prescription based on your first tenet. Hang on, stop. Based on your very first tenet. I need you to use the actual manifesto itself to tell me how it conflicts with that prescription. What you're doing is you're saying, I don't like that prescription. That's great. Nobody gives a shit what you like. Show me in the Humanist Manifesto where it is that it actually debunks this prescription or says this prescription's wrong or says this prescription isn't humanist. What I'm claiming is that that is humanism.
Okay.
That is a humanist doctrine. You need to show me within the Humanist Manifesto how it's not.
I already did that by explaining that the Humanist Manifesto doesn't say harm. It is about not doing harm. And again, Andrew, you are going back to your own interpretation. Now, secular humanism doesn't have one person's interpretation to take into account. Secular humanism is based on a collective, these shared experiences. We don't take the Bible. We don't take one person.
We need you in the audience to remain quiet, please.
We don't take one person's interpretation and say that's what we're going to stick to. Okay, we don't go, this is the thing that we say because this person wrote this and that is what we stick to. As humanists, we have collective experiences. We will get together and say...
Do you write them in a manifesto?
Yes, because that's a group of collective experience.
No kidding. You have collective experiences, and you put them in a manifesto.
So what we would do you want me to answer the question, or are you going to jump in and let me...
How long are you going to take to answer the
question?
Well,
I let you talk for a while to give the question, so let me answer. Are you afraid of me answering the question, Andrew?
I just want you to actually use the manifesto.
Andrew, if you're afraid of me answering the question, just say so.
Just use the manifesto.
If you're afraid of me answering the question, then that's fine.
Hold on 1 second. Let me pull you apart just to reset here. Andrew, can you... ask your question one more time.
Yeah, it's really simple, okay? Yes, I agree. You guys all have collective experiences, and you put them in a thing called the Humanist Manifesto, which you just agreed to. Using this Humanist Manifesto of your collective experiences, I gave a prescription. Can you also use that Human Manifesto to debunk that prescription? Tell me why that prescription's wrong using the manifesto itself. I think you can't. I think you can't do it, Craig. Because it doesn't tell you shit. It doesn't tell you anything.
Once again,
go ahead. Show me. Show me in the manifesto itself where that prescription conflicts with humanism. Because I'm saying it's a greater form of humanism than your humanism.
Are you done?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. Now take a deep breath and let me talk, okay? Good boy. There we go.
This guy has been rambling and dodging the entire debate, and now he wants to act like he's in control over Andrew Wilson. Classic move. Try to act calm right after getting wrecked. And Andrew Wilson sees right through it. The whole spiel about collective experiences is just a smokescreen for moral relativism.
Calm. Right. Once again, the Human Manifesto says no harm. It's about not doing harm. It's about human flourishing. Okay? I'm not going to use the exact words because interpretations are a thing. But as secular humanists, we would get together and say, how do we deal with this thing? It's not a particular prescription of things that you have to do. It is an ethical framework. You would take the framework and you would say, how do we deal with this problem? You would get together as a society and using our shared experiences, empathy towards each other, the want to do less harm, how do we deal with this issue? Secular humanists do not do harm. That is the idea of secular humanism, to not do harm, to flourish. So I'm going to use the principles. I don't have to use the specific manifesto because I could just get into the Bible and ask how stoning people on the Sabbath because they went to work is good for society, or how not letting women speak. Andrew, your Bible says that you can beat your slave as much as you want, as long as they can get up afterwards. That comes for a good society. No, I can tell you why Christianity is not good for society, right? But you have not given me any reasons to do it. What I'm not going to do is engage with your personal interpretations of secular humanism, because personal interpretations don't matter. Collective decisions as a society is what matter. So you individually deciding this is the prescription of secular humanism is not how secular humanism works.
Perfect.
And what you've done is said, we have got a set of rules by God that we can set out by. We've got a normative authority to go to. But that normative authority also drowned the entirety of humanity because he didn't like what they were doing. To use a normative authority that is a psychopathic deity is a very silly thing to do. We don't need a normative authority. We need collective experiences and how that will affect humans in the future.
Got it. So I just want to make sure. I'll steel man.
Wait for the applause. Come on. Thank you.
Let's hear some real applause.
All right, guys, come on.
All right,
My turn. Come on, louder.
All right, we'll return
Come on.
to the debate.
Hey.
We'll return to the debate. Go ahead, Andrew.
Never an L.
I just wanted to move back to this very quickly. I just want to make sure that I steel man your position in the best faith I possibly can.
You've failed so far.
Okay, that's why I'm trying again. So let's say
you're very trying, yes.
When you say it's the collective experience of us that matters,
yes,
in the interpretation of this framework.
It's the collective experiences and how that relates to the framework.
Okay. In the collective experience of these people utilizing this framework, they would be able to utilize this framework to debunk that prescription, correct?
I just did.
You utilize collective experience to debunk my prescription.
Yeah, collective experience of people being locked up and kidnapped and experimented on being a shit thing to do. The collective experiences would say that humanity wouldn't do that, because the collective experience of humanity knows that that is a bad thing to do that causes harm and doesn't help people. There is no way that secular humanism would lock people up and experiment on them, because that causes harm. Secular humanism does not cause harm. We would not find a solution to something that includes purposely causing people harm. So you are coming up with this prescription because you do not understand what secular humanism is.
I do understand.
You seem to think that secular humanism is anything.
When I ask a question, please don't take 2 minutes, right? Just give a quick answer.
If you
This guy is clinging to the idea that Andrew Wilson just doesn't understand secular humanism. Andrew Wilson seems to understand it perfectly. He understands it so well that he's exposing its fatal flaws right in front of your eyes.
If you watch a lot of shorts, should I play like a video of like Subway Surfers as I talk at the same time? Is that going to help?
So anyway, back to this. The reason is because we can't get anywhere. If you filibuster on a single answer forever and ever and ever,
again, if you've got a short attention span, Andrew, that's not my problem.
So the point is that if it is the case that it's just due to collective experience, using this as just a framework, what's to stop the collective experience from making prescriptions just like mine, based on whatever their collective experiences are?
It's a logical impossibility.
Stop.
You asked me the question.
Well, can I finish asking it?
Okay.
So anyway, what's to actually to stop the collective from coming up with, well, for one thing, they can change the manifesto itself, right? It's already been changed multiple times.
So is the Bible, multiple times.
Nobody's disputing that. But what I'm saying is that inside of this, if you have a collection of people who say, for instance, to, I don't know, lock up all children, right? Prescriptively, that's what humanists decide is going to help the most when it comes to knowledge of the world being derived by observation, experimentation, And rational analysis, they're using rational analysis to determine children need to be locked up until they get to a certain age. What inside of the Humanist Manifesto itself is demonstrating that that should not happen? What is it? What can you point to anything in it?
The reduction of harm. Andrew, you keep
which is where?
You keep
where is it?
Right, again,
where is it?
I'm not going to use the exact words that are in it because
they're not in it.
Because
they're not in it.
Right? I'm not going to use the exact words.
Andrew Wilson took an opponent who thought he had an airtight argument and shredded it into pieces. The guy couldn't answer basic questions, couldn't justify his own worldview, and relied on vague appeals to collective experience instead of offering a real, concrete defense. Meanwhile, Andrew Wilson, he never backed down. He never let the guy off easy. He exposed the contradictions, pointed out the flaws, and left this so-called woke atheist grasping at straws. This is why Andrew Wilson is a beast in debates. He takes weak arguments, flips them inside out, and leaves his opponents scrambling for a way out. Absolute dominance. Do you guys also think Andrew Wilson won this debate? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching and take care.